I just wanted to do a fun, quick video today. This is playing with stamps is what I've been doing. I played with some stamps. I have some of these smaller sets with smaller images on them. And I use them to use some of these. These are just some that I had and some that my friend gave to me. But anyway, I use those to create this design on this paper. And it's kind of like those old-fashioned papers that have vintage ads on them. And you see them sometimes made into bags, to paper bags at antique stores and places. So what I thought we'd do is make some little bags out of these papers. What you do is you fold your paper up in thirds, or however you want it, just bring it across. We'll just make this one match up in the back, and you want to allow about 1/4 inch or so to glue it, so you have a nice overlap there. Get your glue on it. I'm going to go ahead and glue that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, this is Fabri-Tac I'm using, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this edge, just like that, and on this edge. And then when it overlaps, each edge will be glued to the opposite paper, that way. Okay. I have to put the lid on my glue every time because this weather is so hot, I'm afraid it will just evaporate. I'm just using this makeup brush thing. It's not a brush, but you see, the glue won't stick to it, so that's why it's great for spreading glues. And then you just put it down like that. Now let's see, this is my top. I use this dragonfly image as kind of a focal point on here, and then added the other images around it, just for a little interest on it. And then you fold the bottom up just a little bit. I'm going to do about, what is that, about not quite 1/2 inch, about 3/8 of an inch. And then what I'm going to do is cut this back so that the bulk isn't there. So I'm just going to cut it here at this end and at this end. And then I'm going to trim this off. Back to the fold, and then I'm going to clip these edges where they're going back that way a little bit, make them a little more even. Then I'm going to glue this down on that edge. I like to cut that edge off, the edge that's on this side. I like to cut it off because it reduces the bulk at the bottom of the bag and in your journal, when you put it in the journal. So on this one I used Dusty Concord Distress Oxide ink. And this ink, if you get it wet, it's going to kind of bleed or something, so that might be a consideration. And then on the top edge, I'm just going to take my decorative scissors, has this design on it, and I'm just going to go across the edge there and make it decorative. And I hope these are sharp enough to do this. Sometimes these little scissors are not the greatest. This pair is Fiskars Paper Edgers is what it's called. See right there, that didn't cut right, so I have to go back and try to line it up and get it back again. Now this side is a little bit taller. And I'll keep on till I have a pocket instead of a bag. Okay, so that's our first little paper sack. I'm going to press these edges down a little bit. And this one I used a variety of stamps so that it has an interesting design on it. But I thought, well, what if somebody doesn't have a bunch of stamps? What if they just have one stamp that they really liked? And so I've used my Paris stamp, which is this one. This is probably one of the earlier ones that I got, and I really have always enjoyed it. And I just stamped it on here, some right side up, some sideways, and this one is going the other way and off the edge and things. And I think it makes a cute pattern too. So this page is torn with my tear ruler, this tear ruler, which is We Are Memory Keepers. And that side is the side I use. This side is the big edge. On this one, I thought I'd use a technique that I saw Rhonda of Joy Junktique use when she was making some paper bags. And she said her idea came because she had folded it and had her seam on the front. And she didn't want it to be the seam on the front, so she adapted it where it was a design element. So I thought that would be fun to do. And what I'm going to do on this one, I think I'm going to turn this bottom up first and then come back and fold it the other way just to make it a little easier, I hope to do. And then, let's see if I want to go with this side. I think I'm going to bring it pretty far over and get most of that one on there. It's going to be a sideways on that, sideways fold on that. And press it here. I stamped this just freehand. I didn't try to make sure it was all even and everything on that. Okay, so what she did is she put some lace in under this edge to just give it a little decoration. I think I'm going to put mine on this top side because I think that's not so pretty. So I'll just cut a piece of this off. I need to fold up that bottom yet too. Like that. Let's go ahead and do this. Cut this off. Actually, this time I'm just going to cut this like this to that corner, and then I'll cut this inside part out. It would cause the extra bulk there. This paper's thinner. It probably wouldn't be that much bulk, but I'll do it anyway. There we go. All right. I think this paper originally was some grid paper. So it has it's a thinner paper, and it has a little bit of a, you can't really see it now, but there was a bit of grid on there. Okay, I'm going to glue this and put the lace on, and then I'll turn up the bottom on that. So we'll just go across here. And I'm going to put just a little bit right there. And hope I didn't go inside the... Okay, I got that off. I just don't want that glue to run back and close up my bag where I don't want it closed up. Okay. And put the lace on. And I want it to be, I think I'll just put it on the edge where it's going over the other side too. So I'll just glue it here. And I'm just going to kind of do a little swirly thing up here. And that's going to cause a bump right there, but I'm going to do it this way anyway, since I've already started. Okay. Let's turn that up over there. That probably would have been prettier over the top of that. See if I can take it out and do it that way. I always think I'm going in the right direction with something, and then I change my mind in midstream, but it's just the way I roll. Get that unstuck from each other there. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, and I may just leave that for now. So there is that. Probably this would have looked better to have folded that to the back, but I didn't. So anyway, that's that little bag. And you can use these in your junk journal to make a pocket out of. Glue it on two sides, have a tuck behind, and a pocket on the inside. So there's two. And the other thing I thought about was, well, what if you didn't have any stamps that you liked? You just were kind of bored with your stamps or something. And I thought about showing you what I had done a long time ago when I didn't have hardly any stamps. And I saw somebody talking about, well, I think it was probably Pam of the Paper Outpost, because she was always saying you don't need this stuff, you can just use what you have. So I used, this is a lid from a Tylenol bottle, and it has these bumps around the edge, and I inked it and stamped it on this paper. And I thought that it's kind of different. It's an interesting design there, and it stamps fairly well. Let's just do it over here on the other edge. See how that works out. Don't really know how I'm going to put this one together. I'm just going to put two there. I should have had the felt under that. Anyway, that's kind of how that works. You could also use, this is a lid off of a mousse container. This works pretty well too. I'll just take another piece of paper and I'm going to put the felt under it this time so it stamps better. And I'm just going to put circles going down this side like that. And maybe some just over here, just a few. And I probably will get carried away and do too many, so we'll see what that looks like. But see, that makes a pretty good circle on there. And when you put a bunch of them on there, it kind of turns into a neat looking design. So, and there are other things you could use. This one is an oval shape, and it's the piece that goes in the top of it, a solid deodorant. It has a convenient little handle on the top of it. All right, let's fold this one up. Maybe I should do this one different than I did the other one. Let's fold it back this way. This is going to have the design on this side again. So, and that's the top. This would be good if you wanted to put a flower or something down there. So, we'll try that. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to fold this up. Now, another way that you can do this, if you want to keep those extra layers there, this is another thing that Rhonda did. She just folded this in where the fold meets the line there, like that, on both sides, like that. And then she glued this down on top of that. Let's put a little glue on this. Under there a little bit. And then you can glue this to the body of the piece. Get that little glue under there. Okay. So if we wanted to put something on this one, say, I don't know about a bird, but let's see about a flower that would go pretty with this. That's that purple again, that Dusty Concord. None of these are purple, so I guess we can go with whatever we want to go with. Maybe we'll use one of these up here. I haven't used any of these yet. These stickers are some more that my friend gave me. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, do we like that one? Or I'm going to save that yellow one. I have something else I want to put it on. That might be pretty to have it go up over that. Let's see about... tulip. Okay. I'm going to have to get out the hat pin trick. Doesn't want to let go. Okay, come on. There we go. Just needed a little coaxing. All right, let's just put this. I'm going to put it up far enough that it's kind of going over those. Bone folder to kind of press that down a little bit. So there is another one. I think on this one I might like some lace across the bottom. I think that would dress it up and look pretty. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. These are quick little projects to do, and you have something pretty to put in your journal when you're finished with it. I'm going to pull that across a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to make it just a little bit puckered up so that it's flouncy. And I'm going to cut this one off about where the other one is. We need something else on there. I don't think I have any purple ribbon. I have some jute string here that I could put across there. Be kind of rustic. I think I'll do it. Why not? You could decorate these any way you want to with stickers or ribbon or lace. Whatever you, a bigger stamp, you could put another large stamp on the front of that, or like this one, you could put a stamp on it to go with what you already have on there. Okay. I may cut these back later, but for now, I'm just going to have them sticking out there a little bit, just for the fun of it. Why not? Okay, there we go. Now this one's looking kind of lonely, isn't it, without anything on it? So that one is, this is the back on it with the circles, and this is the front. So, what should we do with this? You know what? I think instead of making this into a bag like this, I think I'm going to just make it into a little envelope and just fold this up right about there. And I'm going to take off part of this edge over here if I can do it without messing it up. But I don't want this edge to be like that and the other to be just straight. So we'll see if this works. It's really hard, I think, to tear just a little bitty piece like that. And I've seen some people put the ruler on the short side and tear this piece off of the short piece, but I didn't do that. I don't know if it'd work better for me or not, but anyway, we'll get this kind of ripped up here. Okay. Get this out of the way. Now I want this piece to be on the flap, so I'm going to fold this up to here. Doesn't have to be real deep or anything. And I'm going to have that about like that. A bit straighter would be nice. Okay. Now I'm going to glue envelope together, just on these sides. This is just your really, really basic envelope. It's just folded in 3 pieces and glued. So like that. And I'm going to take my scissors and just nip off some of these sharp edges that are sticking out there. Like that. Okay. These little envelopes are fun to have to stick in a pocket in your journal. Or you can glue it down to a page. Maybe glue it sideways. Or, put something behind it. You can put paper to write in or something. Just a secret spot in the journal. And I think on this one I want some more of this lace on the edge there. And I'm thinking I might like a button on there. I think a button would be cute on there. And I've got these white buttons. It's in a jam jar. Let's see what we'd like to have here. That might be cute. Or it could be over here. There's another one. Small ones. Indecision. I think I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to put something behind it. These are just some little ruffles I sewed from some blue fabric that I had lying around. So, see how this looks on here. Just put that on there. And I think I'd like some yarn or something through that button. Let's see how this looks. The holes in this button are so big that I don't even need a needle to put this thread through there. Which is kind of nice for a change. Not have to look for a needle that the thread would go through the eye. Okay, do we like that? That looks okay. I'm gonna pull this back. No sense in wasting all that. But I may let that stick out behind it too. I'm gonna cut it right about there. Okay. I'm not gonna tie this behind there because it would just make a big lumpy place, and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna put some glue on it and glue it all down. You could do this same kind of design on one of these paper bags too, if you wanted to. I'm gonna scooch that together a little bit because it looks like it needs to be a little more gathered. And put some glue on this. See how that does? Just giving that a little tug on that so that it's threads through the buttonholes. The holes in the buttonholes are something different, aren't they? Trim that off. Okay, there we go. A little envelope that I now have glued together. Like that. And does it need anything else? I think not. I think it's fine like that. Give enough room to reach in there. So that was kind of a quick little project, and I hope that you got some inspiration of something you could do with some ink and stamps and a little bit of paper, and have some fun with it. And you could always do things like cut back here and turn that down in a V shape, or make the front lower than the back, or whatever you wanted to do. I did just a tiny bit more decorating after I turned the camera off. I thought I'd turn it back on and show you what I did. I added this button, and this is a piece of a coffee filter that I had cut it's a round coffee filter, and I'd cut the sides of it off to make something else. And this was just laying on the desk, and I just kind of gathered it up in a semicircle and put the button on top with some thread through the holes. And that kind of finished that one off. And then on this one, I added some cheesecloth, this number 9. And this is a label I cut out of a page of an algebra and trigonometry book, I think it is. And I put it on that formula there. So I don't know, I just kind of combined them, and I thought that looked kind of cute too. I don't know that it goes with Paris so much, but it's just something interesting to be on the corner of that. So anyway, and these you saw. So that is what I did with finishing them off. Thanks for coming by and crafting with me today. I hope you have a good week, and that you enjoy making some of these little bags and even envelopes, and using things that are unconventional, or using conventional things in unconventional ways. Just having fun with our supplies and our products. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.